Good morning, my gorgeous Marley May. I hope you had a good night's sleep. Hang on, let me remember. It's Nanny's morning because we're on the other side of the world. So it's morning here for Nanny Deb, and it's your bedtime for you in England. So I hope when you wake up in the morning, Mummy will show you this book. It's got a bit of a song in as well, and it's a traditional Australian poem, and it has a song that goes with it. I'm going to sing it for you too. But it's in old-fashioned kind of English language, so hopefully I won't make too many mistakes, but I'll explain some of the things along the way. This is a book called Click Go the Shears, and in Australia, a long time ago, when they started farming sheep in Australia, because you have lots of sheep in your country, but sheep in Australia, we made lovely wool because the conditions were so hard and the sheep had to work really hard to grow their wool because there wasn't much food and water. So the wool grows very, very fine and it makes for beautiful jumpers and wool. So Australian merino wool is well sought after in the world. So they wrote a song and a book about the shearers. They had a very hard life, and these men were the types of men that would go and shear the sheep. And can you see? They've got like big scissors, not electric ones that maybe like Daddy cuts his hair. These are like special big scissors, and they had to do it as fast as they could because they were paid per sheep. And the sheep in this book are called they're called a Joe. That's what they're called. The sheep are called Joe. And if they have no wool on their tummy, because they have to shear the sheep first on the tummy to get the soft wool off, and then if they're looking for a sheep that has no wool on its tummy, it'll save them half a minute. So they look for what's called a bare-bellied Joe, which is a sheep with no wool on its tummy. This was a hard life. These were often men who would go from farm to farm. They didn't have families of their own. They didn't have much money, and they enjoyed going to the pub and drinking beer with their money. So they would go along on their horses and carts, and the farmers would give them a bed and give them some food, and they'd shear all their sheep and then sell the wool to market. So this is a very long time ago, before we had television or YouTube or any fancy things like this. So this is a shearer's shed. You see the wool in the corner? They've piled it all up. So the sheep are led in one by one, and the shearers, they shear them very quickly. There's the first shearer. He's got his big shears. That would be very hard on your back, wouldn't it, doing that? So the poem starts. Out on the board, the old shearer stands, grasping his shears in his long bony hands, fixed in his gaze on a bare-bellied Joe. Glory if he gets her, won't he make the ringer go? So remember, a bare-bellied Joe is a sheep with no wool on its tummy, and the ringer is the head shearer. So the head shearer is the fastest one of all of them, and he sort of looks after all the lads. So if he can beat the ringer, it'll make him go even faster. So they're down, shearing the sheep. Lucky sheep are a little bit placid, so otherwise they'd be jumping around. So the song goes with it. Click go the shears, boys, click, click, click. Wide is his blow as his hands move quick. The ringer looks around and is beaten by a blow and curses the old snagger with the blue-bellied Joe. So he must be the old snagger. He's got on quick. So that's the chorus for the song. So I'll read the rest of the poem, and then maybe Mummy and you can sing the chorus. Wow. Can you see the shearer's floor? It's full. Oh, let's see if there's no light. There we are. It's full of shearers. Got the sheep on the floor. Wool is everywhere. Now there's a little boy here. Now he has some tar, very hot tar, which is like sticky black stuff. And sometimes the poor sheep, they get a cut with the scissors. So this little boy goes along with some hot tar on a stick and he puts it straight on top so it seals it. So it's like a sticky band-aid. But then eventually it will fall off, but it means the sheep don't get any infections from the flies. We have a lot of flies in Australia, and they cut the sheep's tails off. They call it docking the sheep, so they don't get any infections around their bottom where they have a poo, because we have too many flies. And this is the man who's watching everybody, making sure they're working hard and they're not stealing any wool for themselves. It's a bit of a hard life, I think, huh? There he is, the supervisor. Everyone's working. In the middle of the floor, in his cane-bottomed chair, is the boss of the board with his eyes everywhere. Notes well each fleece as it comes to the screen, paying strict attention if it's taken off clean. So what they want is they separate all the wool. The wool on the tummy has got lots of grass and seeds and dirt and stuff, and they shear that off and they put it in one basket. Then all the top wool is sort of taken off because that doesn't have lots of dirt and stuff in it. But the wool underneath and close to the skin is very tight and clean. And then they will spin it. Oh, he looks like he's got a happy face. A few wrinkles there, he's seen a little bit. The colonial experience man, he is there, of course, with his shiny leggings got just off his horse, casting round his eye like a real connoisseur, whistling the old tune, I'm the perfect lure. I don't know what that is, but it sounds good. I think it is someone from the colonial land. It's someone from England who still has a claim on the land, and he's coming to collect his share of the money. Oh, there's that little boy. Do you remember I told you he has a stick with some tar? Oh, that might burn on the sheep. The tar boy is there, waiting in demand, with his blackened tar pot and his tarry hand. Sees one old sheep with a cut upon its back. Here's what he's waiting for. Tar here, Jack. His name must be Jack. Gosh, they'd be busy, wouldn't they? It's hard work. Wow. Can you see all the sheep? They're all waiting in a pen, ready to be led in. It looks like those ones have no wool on their back. Lucky it's in summer, otherwise they'll get cold. Where do you think that is? There's no sheep, but there's men around. I think they might have a beer glass in their hand. It might be the pub. Shearing is all over, and we've all got our checks. Roll up your swag. Now, I have to tell you, a swag is like a sleeping bag with a tent on top. Lots of Australian people sleep in swags because it's nice and cool and easy to take places. Shearing is all over, and we've all got our checks. Roll up your swag, for we're off on the tracks. The first pub we come to, it's there we'll have a spree, and everyone that comes along gets drinks. Come on with me. That's hard work, isn't it? Gosh. Yeah. There's some of the shearers. Hard work. Down by the bar the old shearer stands, grasping his glass in his thin bony hands. Fixed is his gaze on a green painted keg. Glory he'll get down on it ere he steers a peg. Goodness me, that's a hard life, working hard. There we leave him standing, shouting for all hands, whilst all around him every shouter stands. His eyes are on the cask, which is now lowering fast. He works hard, he drinks hard, and goes to hell at last. Oh, dear me. So it must be that the poor old shearer, he has died, and they're all his friends that have gone to his funeral. Can you see it's a farmhouse, and all the sheep, they have dogs to come and help them shear them in, bring them in, and they whistle at them. Those sheep, they look as if they've still got their fur on. They've had some sheep that disappear for years, and when they come back, they're big and fat. So this is the song. We'll do a quick one with the chorus. It is. Out on the board the old shearer stands, grasping his shears in his thin bony hands. Fixed is his gaze on a bare belly Joe. Glory if he gets her, won't he make the ringer go? Click go the shears, boys, click, click, click. Wide is his blow and his hands move quick. The ringer looks around and is beaten by a blow, and curses the old snagger with a bare belly Joe. That book came from your cousin Molly. She has some lovely stories that I love telling you, and I like getting the ones especially that are about the Australians. Well, that was a funny old story for us, wasn't it? But it gives you a little bit of history about the country that your mummy's from, that you have a heritage that belongs to you. And hopefully very soon we will get to show you all of the wondrous things that we have here. Okay, I love you, Marley mate. Miss you very much. And you have a present coming on Saturday, which is tomorrow. Okay, well, do you remember? We can try and do blow kisses. Or I saw you clapping hands. Can you clap your hands for Nanny Deb? When you can do that, you can go, yes, Nanny. Okay, ready? Blow kisses. Or you can blow one to Australia. And I blow one to UK. All right. I love you, my darling. I love your mummy too. And I love your daddy Ed. And I love your big sister Flo. Okay. Love you very much. I will talk to you soon. Oh, and I have to show you, our house is just empty and full of all sorts of nonsense around. Oh, they're Christmas presents. Are they for you? Okay.